house guests. Welcome to today's BBCan 10 updates and spoilers. Hope you're having a great day so far. Our house guests of the day are Alexandra White and Elizabeth Zarita. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right. It's a crazy day. Gotta stay goofy, right? So I also want to thank our super chatters from yesterday before we get started, because that is also a fantastic way to support our channel. So Sean, Donald Butts, Travell K, thank you all so much for your super chats. You are wonderful. All right, let's get into it because we've got some stuff to discuss. So when we left off yesterday, Gino is up on the block with Josh because of a gummy bear. I cannot wait to watch tonight's episode to see the insanity. I need to see the edit of this. Marty trusts that his alliance of 5 will keep his precious Gino safe and vote out Josh. But nope, Kevin and Helena are planning to flip the script and vote Gino out. You only need 3 votes to evict this week, and Betty and Summer are fully in Josh's corner. So that would give Josh 4 votes to stay. But Gino is thinking that he has JC Lynn and Helena locked in. He's trying to secure Summer's vote just in case Kevin flips. So Gino is offering Summer a Final 4 deal with him, JC Lynn, and one person of Summer's choosing. But Gino suggested that person be Betty. It's too little too late. Summer has been done with Stavros ever since he used her as a pawn last week. She's over it. But she isn't telling Gino that. She's telling Gino, like, I need to think about it. I'll see. So she's being very ambiguous about her vote. All right. I mentioned yesterday, Helena really seems to be struggling with this vote. And partly she's saying it's because Gino is a good guy and all that. But, like, more than that, she knows if she votes out Gino, she's going to be damaging her relationships with Marty and JC Lynn big time. And both of them have discussed going all the way with Helena. So Helena's worried that she's going to be burning some major bridges with this move. So at one point yesterday, Kevin and Helena were chatting outside, and Kevin is crying. He feels bad because he knows the score here too. He knows that Helena is really risking a lot with this move, more even than Kevin is. So he feels bad about it. He's like, if we stick with the 5 and keep Gino, you would have a really strong chance of getting second place. And if $20,000 is going to change your life, then maybe we should just stick with the 5. Which is also like ridiculous because there are a lot of situations if they stick with the 5 where Helena would not make it to the end. I mean, you'd be going to the end with 3 copies. Like, what? But anyway, Kevin says, if we do send Gino home, I think we have a chance to win this thing. You know, it might be a slimmer chance of us getting to the end, but there is that chance that we could both get there together. And Helena agrees. She says, yeah, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We have to just go for it. I would rather take the risk and play with you until the end. So then Josh comes outside and he's like, what's wrong? He sees Kevin crying, and Kevin says, Josh, you better be ready to take that shot at Betty and Summer when the time comes. And Josh says he will. Kevin makes the point, like, that time could come even like during the triple tomorrow. There could be a situation where if Josh is HOH, he could be forced to put Betty or Summer up on the block as like a replacement nominee. So Josh is saying he'll do it, but he's asking Kevin, why are you so sad? And Kevin says it's becoming more real now. You know, we're locked in with you. We're locked into the crash test dummies, the Rat Pack. But, you know, with this move of keeping you, we are potentially saying goodbye to $20,000 here. So Helena says she's also nervous that once Gino goes, Summer and Betty will try to pull in JC Lynn and go against them. I mean, that's a good read because at that point, yeah, Betty and Summer were like, it would be good if we could pull in JC Lynn. Got to make sure we're going to be safe with her going into this potential triple eviction. So Josh is like, all right, well, what's the best move for you two? What's going to be good for you? And Helena and Kevin, of course, both say it's best for them to keep Josh, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to say that to his face, but they're still like, I don't know. So they all talk about how they're committed to their alliance of three, the crash test dummies, and they're saying it'd be stupid to turn our backs on each other now. They want to go to the end together. But they know that people are really going to be hating them on Thursday when they vote for Gino to go. It's going to be wild. So Kevin asks Josh, do you think that maybe you could work on getting Betty and Summer to propose a final five with us? Because then, if we can lock in Betty and Summer, Helena will be much more comfortable that they're not going to try and pull in JC Lynn. So we couldn't hear Josh's response to this because of an airplane. So I don't know what he said, but I would imagine he was like, yeah, I can work on that. So they all know they have to win competitions moving forward in order to get to the end together. They're not just going to get dragged there as a trio. So we'll see what happens. But a little bit later, Summer is chatting with Josh in the beach room. And Summer is telling him all about Gino's campaign, how Gino was saying, yeah, I put you up on the block, whatever, but I won't do it again. And he was also saying that Josh could potentially beat anybody in the end. But Summer says this campaign is not working on me. I am keeping you. You don't even need to campaign to me. Josh, don't worry about it. I have trust and faith in you. I know that you wouldn't put me up on the block, right? And Josh is just like, yep. Okay, so Summer asks him, how's it going with Helena? Because just a reminder, again, Helena and Kevin have not told Betty and Summer exactly how they're voting this week. They don't want that getting out there yet. So Josh is like, well, I feel like it's too late for me to develop something with Helena. But he's okay, right? I mean, he's already got a solid 3 with her, but that's a secret. So Josh says he feels like Helena's logical and she will probably vote to keep him. All right. Eventually, Betty joins them, and they also talk about how they feel pretty confident that Kevin is going to vote Gino out because Kevin wanted Gino out during the double eviction, and it didn't happen. This is their chance to do it again. They discuss their plans for a triple eviction, and Betty says, in a perfect world, it would be Marty, Helena, and JC Lynn up on the block during a triple. And she says if somebody comes down with the power of veto, Kevin would go up as replacement nominee, but they would keep Kevin safe. So Summer agrees with this plan. Josh plays along. Josh is always playing along with whoever he's talking to. So it's interesting that Kevin has really worked his way in with Betty and Summer. So a little later, Kevin and Helena are chatting in the backyard, and Kevin says, I was serious before. If you want to go for that likely 20K, we can do that. I don't care what we told Josh already. If that's what you want to do, we'll do it. And Helena says, no, I'm here to take risks. I want to go for that win. I want to do what's going to be best for both of us. So Helena is saying she's thinking maybe they should give JC Lynn a heads up, though, before the eviction, maybe a half an hour before, because, there is a chance that maybe she could salvage her relationship with JC Lynn. I don't think so. And just let her know, it's a game move. It's not personal. Kevin says, if we tell JC Lynn, we're going to have to tell Gino and Marty, too. We can't just tell one of them. They're not really sure how they want to handle this yet, but they still have time to think about it and figure that out. So later, Marty and Kevin have a long chat in the HOH room. I'm just going to give you the highlights here. Marty says he is betting his whole game on this move, this gummy bear renom. So if Kevin flips and votes Gino out, Marty's like, I'm in trouble. If you do that, it's going to be just me and Helena together. You're not going to have Helena? What? Okay, so Marty says he trusts Kevin, though. He says the 5 is everything to me. Obviously, Josh, Betty, and Summer are working together. I have to mention, the vibe is off in this conversation. Kevin is looking down a lot. He's clearly uncomfortable. He says it's because he has a sinus headache. I guess he was waiting for his meds to kick in. I don't know. But you could tell he's like very uncomfortable in this conversation. Um, so Marty says, once we get down to the 5, our group is gonna split. It's gonna be me, you, and Helena versus the showmans. This is not what Marty's been saying to other people in the 5. But Marty later in the conversation actually spills like, yeah, I've been telling Gino that I want to go to the final 4 with him, JC Lynn, and Helena. Not you, Kevin. Marty says, it's not true though. I would never cut you. I'm just saying that to Gino because I wanted him to stick with the group. But Marty is claiming that he wants to work with Kevin and Helena moving forward. And he says when they get down to the final 5, he will target JC Lynn first out of the group. I can't put up Gino. I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. Come on. All right. So Kevin is playing along. He's like, yep, I'm sticking with the 5 as well. No. All right. A little later, Kevin is chatting with Betty in the purple bedroom. And finally, they're talking about the vote this week. Thank you. We needed this. So, first things first, Kevin is pushing that Betty cannot trust JC Lynn. He's like, JC Lynn is talking crap about everybody except for Gino. And he tells Betty, yeah, she called you Betty the babysitter because she's saying you're always walking into rooms and listening in on conversations, checking on people. So Kevin is putting in work here. He's trying to make sure that Betty and Summer will not pull in JC Lynn once Gino is gone. Kevin wants JC Lynn to be a target in front of himself and Helena specifically. So he's really putting in some work here. So Kevin, he tells Betty, I'm really starting to trust you. And Betty says, yeah, I really value you in this game, you and Josh. So Kevin says, I actually feel bad for Gino because he's such a nice guy. But he pretty much confirms to Betty he will be voting for Gino to go. And he says that's going to give pretty much everybody, including JC Lynn, a better chance to win this thing. And Betty agrees. She says, yeah, Gino has got to go. Kevin says he's going to be catching a lot of heat for this move on Thursday. I have to mention too, like later on, Betty goes to Josh and she's like, all right, don't tell because I'm not supposed to say anything, but Kevin is totally gonna vote for you to stay. And Josh had to like act all surprised about it. It was very sweet, but it's also like, oh my gosh, Betty is out of the loop. All right, so then Summer comes in. She's talking to Kevin and Betty, and Kevin just continues to throw JC Lynn under the bus. He's talking about how manipulative JC Lynn is. He's like, yeah, she swore to me that she didn't pitch for me to go up on the block to Marty. And Summer confirms JC Lynn was trying to get him nominated this week. So Kevin's like, there you go. She's manipulative. Kevin is also pushing that Gino was not actually planning on backdooring Marty last week. He was just saying that as a front, but he was always planning to take out either Summer or Moose, or if one of them won the veto, Josh would have been the replacement. So we know that like Gino actually did want to backdoor Marty, but then he like chickened out, I guess. I mean, okay, we know that Helena won the veto and they figured she wasn't going to use it. But then like JC Lynn had the chance and she didn't do it. So Kevin is using this opportunity to push that Marty was not ever actually the target last week. And it's working. Summer and Betty are believing this. So Summer spills about Gino's campaign pitch. She lets Kevin know Gino was saying that he would put up you, Marty, and Helena if he wins the triple eviction HOH. Gino's a goner at this point. I mean, now that Kevin's hearing this too, like it's done. So Kevin tells Summer, if this week's HOH is a knockout, we all need to keep picking JC Lynn so that she'll be eliminated. So he just keeps pushing that JC Lynn needs to be the target going into this triple. All right. Meanwhile, JC Lynn is chatting with Helena in the storage room. And this is where things start to go off the rails a little bit. JC Lynn says to Helena, I want you to be honest with me. She says, if you and Kevin end up for some effing wild ass reason, if you two decide to flip, and she kind of pauses, and Helena doesn't say anything. JC Lynn's expecting Helena to be like, no, 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 we wouldn't flip. What? She doesn't say anything. JC Lynn's like, all right, it's scaring me that you're not saying no right now. So Helena's like, oh, no, no, I'm not flipping. What? Oh, God. So JC Lynn's like, I don't believe you. She says, I hope that you would at least have a little respect for me to give me and Gino a heads up if you are in fact going to flip this vote. And Helena says, yeah, if that were the case, of course I would tell you. But as of right now, I'm not flipping. As of right now, oh my God, what is she doing? So then JC Lynn's like, why are you hesitant? Like, what's going on here? And Helena says, Kevin makes me nervous. She says, if Kevin were to flip, I feel like I would have to flip because regardless, like that vote would be flipped. So I should like be on the right side of the vote, right? So, oh my God, what is she doing? She's trying to put the blame on Kevin because she still wants to be on good terms with JC Lynn. She's trying to lay the groundwork here. So now it's out there. Like there is the potential that this vote could be flipping. So JC Lynn's like, well, if you flip the vote, I would no longer trust you or Kevin. Okay, bye then. I don't know who JC Lynn thinks that she's gonna work with, but okay. So JC Lynn says, if you flip this vote, you and Kevin are gonna be on your own island. Marty's gonna be pissed. He's gonna target you. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna have to target you. And Josh, Betty, and Summer on the other side of the house will be targeting you. No. Okay, but whatever. So JC Lynn says this flip just doesn't make sense to me. It's not going to be good for your game. So Helena's just like, I hate that we're even in this position. You know, Marty with his gummy bears. She's trying to turn it back around on Marty. She's like, I got to talk to Kevin. I got to see what he's thinking. So JC Lynn's like, even if Kevin does flip, you don't have to flip your vote. She's like, Summer is going to keep Gino. You know, they have their weird relationship, whatever. So if she votes to keep Gino and I vote to keep Gino, you do, that would be 3. That's enough. Summer's not keeping Gino. Okay. So then JC Lynn is like, the vibes are off. It's annoying me. I feel like it's not even fair that Gino is in this position. It's kind of funny that she keeps saying this because Marty gave Gino a chance to sit out of the stupid gummy bear draw, and Gino was all like, no, I'll do it too. That's on you, man. So Helena is saying again, if Kevin flips, she's going to have to flip because she's screwed either way. JC Lynn's just like, I feel like you're not telling me something, but Helena denies. Okay, so after this conversation, JC Lynn goes to the backyard. She sits alone by herself for a bit. She's crying. She's just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Are you going to tell your mans or what? I mean, she was sitting there for a while. Eventually, Gino comes over and talks to her. And JC Lynn says, Helena is pissing me off. She's an effing idiot. And JC Lynn's all, the vibes are off. So she tells Gino about the conversation she just had with Helena, how Helena was saying if Kevin flips, she will also have to flip. And Gino's like, what? He says, all right, well, I'm going to have to pull Kevin and Helena into a room together and hit them with the 4 points. I guess somebody's been working on his campaign pitch, right? Apparently he's got four points he's going to present, some presentation, I don't know, whatever. Maybe he's got some note cards prepared. But JC Lynn then starts ranting about Helena, Kevin, and Marty, how they all suck. Kevin makes her sick. He's such a little rat. And she's saying she wishes Marty had some effing brain cells. Damn, okay. Gino is saying Gino's saying he's gonna add a 5th point to his campaign. How like everybody's mad at Marty. So maybe they can like all work together to take him out. They can do that without you. But Gino decides, all right, I'm going to go talk to Marty. I'm going to tell him about the vibes and how they're off. I'm going to see what he has to say about all this. So Gino goes up to the HOH room to talk to Marty. Guess what? Kevin is already in the HOH room talking to Marty, and he's pumping him up about how amazing his performance was in the endurance competition this week. Marty is just loving it. He's eating it all up. So eventually, Gino gets Marty alone, and Gino brings up his concerns about Kevin and Helena. JC Lynn just had this conversation with Helena. The vibe is off. It was really funny to hear the English phrase, the vibe is off, amongst all of the French that Gino and Marty were speaking. But Marty was like, no, Kevin's all good. Like, yes, he was acting weird earlier, but that's because his sinuses are bothering him. So Marty again is saying, if Kevin and Helena flip, my game is done. Like, it's just not going to happen. I trust them. I'm confident that the 5 is staying strong. Okay, so Marty started to feel less confident when he learns that Kevin and Helena are chilling in the Expedia room with Josh, Betty, and Summer. And this is after Marty forbade Kevin from talking to Josh, Betty, and Summer this week. No, I'm not kidding. Marty actually told Kevin, you're not allowed to talk to Josh, Betty, or Summer this week. Oh my God. That is so freaking ridiculous and childish, but okay. So anyway, Marty's freaked out about that. I believe he did check in with Kevin last night and he was like, are we good? And Kevin was like, yeah, we're great. What? I'm sticking with the 5. Okay. So today, Gino made his 4-point presentation. I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever. He made his presentation to Kevin and Helena in the purple bedroom. JC Lynn was in there too. The feeds were blocked for the beginning of this conversation, so we didn't get to hear all of point number 1. But it sounds like the first point was all about Gino entering the gummy draw, even though he didn't have to show that he trusts the 5. That's your fault. Point number 2. He says, if you flip and vote me out, Marty's going to be pissed. JC Lynn is going to be pissed. They're both going to be coming after you. The other side will also be coming after you. So everyone's going to be coming after you. Cool. Threats. That always works when you're trying to campaign to your allies. Point number 3. If I stay, we'll be going into the next HOH competition, which is probably a triple, with a 4 versus 2 advantage. If you vote for me to go, it's going to be 3 versus 3. In reality, if they vote for Gino to go, it's going to be like everybody versus JC Lynn because Marty can't compete. But he says, point number 4, everybody's pissed at Marty. If you guys want to go after him, if that's what we're doing, we can all do that together if you keep me. So Gino says, we have the opportunity here to take out a strong player. Yeah, you. Obviously, he's talking about Josh, but hello. Gino needs to go. You need to split up that showmance at this point. So JC Lynn is like, do you guys see any benefit at all in flipping? Like, I just don't see it. So I need to hear from you guys, like, your thoughts on all this. So Kevin brings up some concerns that he has with this group. Kevin's like, all right, why was I the last one in the group to hear about JC Lynn's secret POV last week? So JC Lynn is like, oh, I had to tell Marty first because he was the HOH, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of becomes this issue because JC Lynn's getting all twisted up in her lies. She can't remember who she's told what or like in what order. So it's pretty messy, but whatever. So then Kevin's asking Helena, do you have a final 2 with Marty? Because I've been hearing that you have a final 2 with Marty. He's not actually upset with Helena, but he's just throwing this out here so she can like smack it down. Also, JC Lynn is the one who's been going around saying that Helena has a final 2 with Marty because Marty spilled that to her. So Helena is denying it. She's like, no way. Okay. All right. So then Gino is talking about how tight Josh, Summer, and Betty are. And how tight those 3 were with Herman, Moose, Tanisha. So Gino says, if one of us ends up in the final 2 with one of those 3, who do you think is going to win? He's like, look at the jury house. You got to look at who's in the jury house right now. They have the votes. This feels really gross and kind of like a microaggression. Like just assuming that all of the people of color are going to automatically vote for each other to win. I don't know. But anyway, Gino is saying again, everyone will be targeting Kevin and Helena. if they flip. So then JC Lynn asks, so how you guys feeling about it? Oh, about being threatened again? So then Kevin's like, all right, I have another issue I have to bring up. He accuses JC Lynn of lying about whether or not she pushed for Kevin to go up as the replacement nominee this week. Obviously, she did. But she continues to deny this. She tells Kevin, I never once said your name. Who told you that? Come on. Kevin is not telling her who spilled on this. But after this conversation, Kevin and Helena agree they're still evicting Gino. I'm still not sure if they're going to tell him straight up ahead of time or not, but they are planning on evicting him. So another thing to note from today, Helena and Kevin continue to carry out their plan to turn Summer and Betty against JC Lynn. Helena lets both of them know individually that JC Lynn had the secret power veto last week. So this further drives home that Gino and JC Lynn did not actually want to backdoor Marty last week, because again, this is something that Kevin has been pushing with Summer and Betty. And this little nugget of info that JC Lynn had the power to get Marty up on the block and she didn't do it, it's just really not looking good for Gino and JC Lynn. It's painting such a huge target on JC Lynn going into this triple eviction. I mean, before, Summer and Betty were thinking about trying to pull her in, but now they're like, she's got to go. So the plan is working. Summer and Betty are over JC Lynn. So that's where we're at right now. We've got the triple eviction tomorrow. So it's looking like Gino will definitely be the first one leaving, but who's going to be after him? We've got two people also leaving besides Gino.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, Bowie. Hello.
But what about that Survivor?
I know. Survivor's on tonight, too. All right. So all that being said, I want to thank today's super chatters. You are amazing. Oh, Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. He said, oh, hi.
Oh, hi, Jefferson. Oh.
Bowie just licked my tooth, and it was so, like, such an aggressive lick. It was like, oh, my God, I'm going to get a headache after that. My sinuses. I feel like Kevin. Okay.
Better take your medicine so
I
it
know.
can kick in before Survivor.
All right. Is it Janie or Janny? Either way, thank you so much. And she says, much love. Made it for the live. Love this in every way. Thanks for the recap. I'm a fan for life. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Really appreciate that. And of course, my fiance.
Oh, has anyone seen your fiance?
Sean, thank you so much. She says, I hear that you're going to sell Girl Scout cookies soon. Where can I buy some? Okay, so we're obsessed with the musical Beetlejuice. We just saw it a few weeks ago, the day that we got engaged. And
You got engaged like 5 minutes before the musical.
No. A few hours. But yeah, the Girl Scout song is definitely one of our favorites that's been stuck in our head. So thanks, babe. Seriously though, thank you everyone so much for the support. Tonight's episode is gonna be
Crazy.
a wild ride. So I'm excited to see it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be yes. I think it's gonna be a fun edit. BBean asks, as of today, who wins the season? That's a really good question because I feel like at this point, the jury is not super receptive to the games of Kevin, Helena, and Josh.
What about Farty Marty?
They are into it, I think, or at least Moose is because of like all the competitions that Marty's won. I think a lot is going to depend on who survives this triple. That could change a lot. So
Well, if Marty's eliminated,
that's going to increase some other people's chances for sure. But we'll see what happens. I think Kevin would definitely have a really good shot of winning if he is able to explain his game to everyone, because I think he's pulled a lot of strings behind the scenes.
will Kevin be explaining it or his lawyer?
I don't know, maybe his lawyer will be showing up. That would be a lot of fun. But anyway, I gotta go call Granny, and I have to call my fiance before the show. So
Oh, fiance.
I'm having too much fun with that. So thank you all so much for watching. We will see you later for the episode recap. And until then, much love. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.